I want to quickly talk to you about PenFed credit limit increase, and I'll have in today's conversation the top 5 hacks that get you approved for thousands of dollars more no matter what. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to talk to you about PenFed credit limit increase. We have the top 5 hacks that get you approved for thousands of dollars more no matter what. Before we get into the actual nitty-gritty, please, I want you to look on the screen right now. Here is a beautiful vision, right? And I want to show you how to make that dream, that vision, a reality in your life. So here we have an approval of $25,000. You may be approved for 10 grand or 20 grand or 5 grand or 50 grand. It doesn't matter. What matters is that if you apply properly, all the hacks I'm going to give you in today's conversation, you can actually be approved too. One thing that's very important to understand is that beyond the actual decision of being approved, you have to ask yourself, why do you need the extra credit on your card? Obviously, if you have a credit limit increase, you will have positive repercussions. For example, your credit utilization ratio, your CUR, will go down, which will have a positive effect on your credit score. That's wonderful, right? You have extra credit to use for emergencies or other purchases. But you also have to think about the temptations, right? Because with the credit limit increase comes a constellation of temptations. You have extra cash, extra credit rather. So you might be tempted to use the cash for, I don't know. So it's all about you having a clear vision about what you need the money for, what you need the extra credit for. And remember that you can always wait for PenFed to increase you automatically. But if you can't wait and you just want to have the extra credit right away, guess what? You can give them a call. Okay, so if you can't request an increase online or would prefer to plead your case over the phone, you can call a customer service rep and give him or her your address, your social security number, your current employment status, the total monthly and annual gross income, your monthly mortgage or rent payments, the amount of requested credit limit increase. Remember though, that in most cases, if you call and you plead, whatever you do, they will do a hard pull on you. So if you don't want to have a hard inquiry on your credit right now, it might be better just to wait and apply the strategies I'm going to give you in today's conversation. Before we actually talk about how to request a credit limit increase, it's important to understand the various types of PenFed credit cards. That's important because each credit card has its own characteristics in terms of the likelihood of you being increased in terms of limits. So you really need to know that. First, we have the Power Cash Rewards Visa Signature Card. Here is a wonderful card. You have 2% cash back on all purchases for PenFed Honors Advantage members, 1.5% cash back on all purchases, and $100 bonus statement credit when you spend $1,500 in the first 90 days. And the purchase APR oscillates from 14.99% to 17.99%. We love this card because this is a card that actually increases you automatically. You don't have to call as long as you use the card responsibly. That's kind of cool. We also have the Gold Visa card. Here is a card that offers a low APR on purchases, $100 bonus statement credit when you spend $1,500 in the first 90 days. Annual fee, nothing. And the purchase APR will range from 7.49% to 17.99%. And this is another card that is kind of cool. If you use it responsibly, they could raise you after 3 to 6 months of responsible card use. We have another one, the Platinum Rewards Visa Signature Card. Here is a card that is replete with offers. So you have 5x points on gas paid at the pump and EV charging stations, 3x points at the supermarket, including most Target and Walmart locations, restaurants, and TV, radio, cable, streaming services, and 1x points on all other purchases. And what we love with this card is that it has a 15,000 bonus points when you spend $1,500 in the first 90 days. And the APR will range from 13.49% to 17.99%. Here is a card also that is a very flexible in terms of credit limit increase. Here you have to wait at least 6 months. You have to wait 6 months. This is one of the prestigious PenFed credit cards, so you have to wait a little bit for this. And then the last one, you have the PenFed Pathfinder Rewards Visa Signature Card, and here you have a 15,000 bonus points when you spend $3,000 in the first 90 days, and you have 4x points on all travel categories for PenFed Honors Advantage members. You have 3x points on all travel categories, and then you have 1.5x points on all other purchases. Here is a card that is a little prestigious also in terms of the constellation of cards that PenFed has. And the annual fee on this particular card is $95. Here, the APR ranges from 14.99% to 17.99%. And again, here you have to wait from 6 to 9 months to be approved. Now, in our view, based on our research, the easiest one to be qualified for, to get if you want to get let's say you want to get a limit quicker or more quickly, that is, the Power Cash Rewards Visa Signature Card, in our view, is a lot easier, quote unquote easier, okay? And then after that, you have the Gold Visa card. One thing I want to say, and I really want to talk to you a little bit about credit scores. It's important because your credit score has a big impact on your ability to be approved for a PenFed credit limit increase. Okay, so before you even think about applying the 5 hacks I'm going to give you in today's conversation, I want you to really understand what makes up your credit score. And you can see actually on the screen here that you have 5 components. And we're going to focus on the top 2 because those are really, really, really important. Your payment history accounts for 35% of your credit score. Think about that, 35%. This is the biggest single factor in your credit score. And all it requires is paying your credit card bills and loan payments on time. That's all it is. So if you want to boost your chances of being approved for a PenFed credit limit increase, please start today, if you haven't done so already, to start paying all your credit card bills and loan payments on time. Very important. You can even pay the minimum due on your credit card and get full credit for payment history. Setting up automatic bill payments is a great way to make sure you nail on-time payments. Okay, so besides payment history, you have debt to credit utilization ratio. This is the CUR, the credit utilization ratio. This accounts for 30% of your credit score. Think about it. This is just crazy. But this is a factor that measures your use of revolving credit. So revolving credit is typically your credit card usage, how much of your total available credit lines you are using. Okay, so you just need to add up all your unpaid balances and divide by your combined total credit limits on those accounts. Next, you have your credit history. So this will account for 15% of your credit score. So this actually just measures history. So it measures how long you've had loans and credit card accounts. At the end of the day, the longer the better, right? Then you have a credit mix that will account for 10% of your credit score. So credit mix means what? It means diversity. It means the types of different credit cards that you have. It can be credit cards, it can be loans, whatever credit arrangements you have. That's nice. So it's a plus to have a mix of different types of credit, such as credit cards, perhaps a car loan, and a student loan. Okay, and then you have the fifth element is new credit that accounts for 10% of your credit score. So if you've opened new credit card accounts or added new loans in a short period of time, this factor is going to work against you. Okay, so too much credit, or new credit that is, makes the financial folks worry that you've got money problems. All right, now let's talk about the top 5 hacks. Hack number 1, wait. Yeah, you just got to be patient. Now you might be thinking, wow, that's too easy. That's just too simplistic. But guess what? Sometimes, if you use your card responsibly, as I was telling you earlier, your payment history accounts for 35% of your credit score. If you just use your PenFed card responsibly and just wait, you might get automatic credit card limit increases. The thing here is that PenFed has a system in place, and their algorithm does this continually, looking at the credit card usage of their members, looking at the credit score, the last time they pull a credit score, and all types of information to actually create the perfect profile. And all you have to do, you just have to do two things. You have to maintain a high credit score by paying your bills on time and reducing your CUR. Remember, CUR and payment history accounts for nearly 2/3 of your credit score. So if you can actually have, the right strategy to maintain your CUR at a low level while actually paying your bills and loans on time, you have a great chance of getting the credit limit increase from PenFed. They do this continuously. They have an algorithm that does the filtering, the screening, if you will, but they also have a department within the institution that takes care of that too. Okay, so if you demonstrate that you are a responsible credit card user and use the card enough to warrant a credit limit increase, you can get a high credit line as frequently as every 3 to 6 or 12 months. So my point here is that even if you are using the card responsibly, they need to see that you actually need that credit limit increase. In other words, you need to use the card enough. They need to see some kind of a transactional volume that is sufficient enough to warrant a credit limit increase. Okay, so this is important. So you can increase your odds of getting an automatic credit limit increase by building a positive payment history, never making late payments, and never causing payments to be returned, and also using the card frequently, which generates swap fees for the bank. If you don't use the card often, you likely will not be offered a credit limit increase. So this is just what it is. And luckily, one thing is very good to remember here is that automatic increases will not generate a hard inquiry on your credit report because you must agree to those beforehand. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Sweaty Kiwi Show. We are also having a conversation today about PenFed credit limit increase. We have the top 5 hacks that will get you thousands of dollars more, no matter what. Hack number 2, you need to see if you got pre-approved. Okay, if you are a current PenFed member and have an active credit card, you want to go to your dashboard and see if you got pre-approved. So when you're ready to request a credit limit increase, what will happen here is that your online account should be your first stop. Okay, remember though, every card issuer is different, but you may be able to follow these basic steps to make sure that first of all, you see a request there, and then that you can get approved, right? So all you have to do right now, if you are a PenFed member, please log into your credit card account, and if you go to your dashboard, there should be a section that says the credit limit increase request. There has to be a link or a section, and you have to fill in all the requested information. Obviously, this is pre-approved, so they're not going to do a hard pull here. They're going to do a soft pull, but they're going to ask you for a couple of questions. They're going to ask a couple of questions. Your job, your income, your expenses, just kind of have an idea of what's going on in your life. Okay, so fill in the information, and you should be fine. So depending on the amount that you are asking, you could be approved or denied immediately. So for larger increases, it could take several days to process your request. And if PenFed needs time to process your request, they will notify you of their decision either through an online message or a mailed letter. You can also call. So once you actually click on the pre-approval link online and fill in all the information, you can actually call them to follow up on the pre-approval or the limit increase. That's kind of cool. And this is not going to generate any kind of hard pull at all. Okay. Now I quickly want to say that when we talk about pre-approved versus pre-qualified, for instance. So when you receive a pre-approval offer for more credit, it simply means that you have passed the lender's initial screening process. In this case, this is PenFed. Okay, so this process involves running a soft check into your credit history, looking at your borrowing habits, confirming that you make payments on time, and reviewing your current credit balances. A credit pre-approval is only an invitation and does not guarantee that you'll receive the increase as offered. Okay, so to increase your credit limits, you will need to formally apply. So PenFed will then do a hard pull into your credit report to verify whether you are still eligible. Okay, so this is something you need to think about. Hack number 3. So hack number 1, you just need to wait. Number 2, you want to see if you've got pre-approved. Number 3, you want to request a credit limit increase. So here you just want to do things yourself, all right? And you can get a PenFed credit card limit increase by requesting online, as I just said, or by calling 1-800-247-5626. That's the number. Again, the number is 1-800-247-5626. And your best chances of being approved for an increase are if you've been paying your bills on time and in full for the last 6 months, okay? That's scenario number 1. Number 2, if your credit score and income have improved since getting the card, this could also be a good opportunity. So, big decision time. Do you fit in any scenario here? In other words, have you used your card responsibly for the last 6 months? Or has your credit score or income improved in the last 6 months? Talk to me, because this is going to be very critical here, okay? And the cool thing here is that you can check your credit score before even calling PenFed. You can check your credit score for free. Actually, Congress has mandated that every citizen have access to their credit score at least once a year. So you can go to a website called annualcreditreport.com to have a confirmation. You can check. You'll get a credit report from Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, and that way you have a clear idea of your credit score before calling PenFed. It's also important to remember that at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself whether, again, you need the extra credit limit. Okay, when you submit a request for a credit limit increase, PenFed might ask for your annual income or monthly housing payments, and it can use that information to help evaluate your risk as a borrower. Then, depending on your data, PenFed will make one of 3 decisions: agree to your credit limit increase request, counter offer with a credit limit increase for a lesser amount, deny your request for a credit limit increase. Okay, so in the case of a denial, you'll usually have to wait a while before trying again. In the meantime, make sure you keep your payment history spotless and continue to use the card often and responsibly. Okay, and if you really want to improve your credit utilization ratio, you can also try applying for a new card. Hack number 4, you want to wait 3 to 6 months. So you want to apply for a credit limit increase every 3 to 6 months. I would say every 6 months. So at least twice a year. Not at least, twice a year. Okay, it's important. Why? The thing here is that when you wait, there are a couple of things you can do. First of all, I've already said it, you need to pay all bills on time. Big question is, do you do that? Decision time. Do you do this? Are you currently paying all your bills on time? Remember that some bills are reported to credit bureaus and may have a greater impact on your credit. That might include loan payments and credit card bills. And alternative data like cell phone bills, electric bills, and water bills might not appear at all. If they do, those bills alone may not have a big effect on your credit score. So you might think about traditional ways you can help yourself build credit if that's your goal. Think about it. Now, as you are waiting for the 3 to 6 months that I just told you to request a credit limit increase or just have it automatically from PenFed, there are a couple of things you can do. You can actually become an authorized user on somebody else's card. This will help you because you could actually benefit from their credit history, if it's good, of course, and continued responsible use. The primary cardholder is ultimately responsible for payments. Keep in mind, both people's credit could dip if negative activity is reported. You can also be a co-sign or joint account holder, right? This can actually help you also. So similar to becoming an authorized user, having a co-signer or opening a joint account can help you access credit you may not otherwise qualify for. In these cases, both parties are responsible for payments. You can also try credit builder loans, right? This is a small loan that gets deposited into a savings account, and if you make payments over a fixed period responsibly, this could help you build your credit history. And once you pay off the loan, you get all the money back. You can also remember that rent, utilities, and other bills might be reported to the credit bureaus. What's my point here? My point here is that as you're trying to mull over the best strategy for you to get the credit line increase, you need to do certain things in the meantime. And the things you are doing in the meantime will help you boost your credit score and CUR. Boost your credit score and lower your CUR. You can even try a secure card. Yeah, you can try a secure card at PenFed or at another institution. For instance, you have a Navy Federal that has a secure card. You can try that also. Hack number 5, and this is very important. This is so important. You want to lower your CUR. I have spoken about CUR all over this show already, but it's important. Credit utilization ratio. This is an important aspect, okay? It accounts for what? 30% of your credit score. So even a slight change in your utilization ratio can affect your credit score. That's why it's important what it is and how it works. So I'm trying to oversimplify things here. Your credit utilization ratio means that, let's say you have a combined, when you combine all your credit cards, and credit utilization ratio only covers revolving credit cards, right? So let's say you have 5 credit cards, and the limits on all those credit cards, the total limit is, say, $30,000. Okay, and $30,000, you have open balances of $20,000 on those 5 cards or 6 cards. In this case, $20,000 divided by $30,000, that's 2/3, right? That's 66.66%, 67%. That's 2/3. That's kind of high. This is a very high CUR. Okay, so this is not good. But this is how you calculate credit utilization ratio. Let me ask you a question. Why do you think CUR is important? Big decision time. It is important not only because of its impact on your credit score, but it also tells the lender whether you are in financial straits or just having a happy life from a financial perspective. Why? Because if you are tempted, if you're using too much credit that is given to you, it means what? It means that you are having financial problems. Think about it. If you have a $10,000 credit card, the limit is $10,000 credit card, the limit is $10,000, and you have used, let's say, $9,000, and you can't pay the balance, that's telling the lender, hey, we are spotting some kind of problems here. This borrower, this applicant, or this person may be going through some hard financial times right now. This is why it's very important to actually always keep it down. Most experts and even credit reporting bureaus like Experian recommend that you keep your credit utilization ratio below 30%. Not 60%, not 67%, 30%. Okay, so this is very important. This is how you increase your chances of boosting your limits, your PenFed limit down the road. If you want to improve your credit utilization ratio, please pay down your debts, request a higher credit limit, open a new credit card, and keep credit cards open. All right, folks, this is it for today's conversation. I was talking to you about PenFed credit limit increase, and I'm giving you the top 5 hacks you can use to get thousands of dollars more no matter what. Number 1, you want to wait. Number 2, you want to see if you got pre-approved. Number 3, you want to request a credit limit increase. Number 4, you want to wait for 6 months. And number 5, you want to lower your CUR. Thank you so much for your attention. I'll see you another time, but until then, remember, stay marvelous.